Good morning. This week's devotion is Remember Who's in Charge. I have to admit that the news over the past few days has really stunned me. Bombing and war in and of itself is horrible, but taking innocent civilians, including children and babies, hostage for the purpose of publicly torturing and murdering them is just evil. I have been in prayer for a peaceful solution to the horror that is going on in Israel. But I can't see a way that this can end without horrible suffering of the innocent. It highlights just how evil human beings can be. All of this suffering, horror, and death is in the very place that Jesus walked, the very place that God chose to be one of us. As I sit in stunned horror, nearly prayed out, I turn to the scriptures for this week to try to find a topic for this week's devotion. One of the scriptures from this week is Isaiah 25, 1 through 9. It is titled Praise for Deliverance from Oppression. It is a longer passage than I normally tackle, but it is exactly what I needed to hear in the face of the evil in the world today. Funny how God can provide the exact word I need to hear on any given day. Maybe you need to hear this today too. Listen to Isaiah 25, 1 through 9. O Lord, you are my God. I will extol you. I will praise your name, for you have done wonderful things. Plans formed of old, faithful and sure. For you have made this city a heap, the fortified city a ruin. The palace of foreigners is a city no more. It will never be rebuilt. Therefore, strong peoples will glorify you. Cities of ruthless nations will fear you. For you have been a refuge to the poor, a refuge to the needy in their distress, a shelter from the rainstorm, and a shade from the heat. When the blast of the ruthless was like a winter rainstorm, the noise of foreigners like heat in a dry place, you subdued the heat with the shade of clouds. The song of the ruthless was stilled. On this mountain, the Lord of hosts will make for all peoples a feast of rich food, a feast of well-aged wines, of rich food filled with marrow, of well-aged wines strained clear. And he will destroy on this mountain the shroud that it has cast over all peoples, the covering that spread over all nations. He will swallow up death forever. Then the Lord God will wipe away the tears from all faces, and the disgrace of his people he will take away from the earth. For the Lord has spoken. It will be said on that day, see, this is our God. We have waited for him so that he might save us. This is the Lord for whom we have waited. Let us be glad and rejoice in his salvation. God's people have faced the horror of evil people before. It may seem like hatred and prejudice and violence has the upper hand in our world today. It may seem like our prayers go unheard. But we need to remember who is in control. Who will have the last word? Those who are perpetrating horrible evil will eventually need to answer to God. Justice will be done. Those who are suffering now, God will personally wipe every tear from their eye. So pray, because God does listen to our cries for justice, our cries for peace. Don't give up hope, because no matter how strong evil seems, God always gets the last word. Have a blessed week.